know who won the toss.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Ipswich Indoor Sports Centre here in Queensland for the final series of the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships. I'm Cameron Walter alongside Stephen Mogg, and what a blockbuster day of semi-final indoor cricket we have ahead of us, folks. First of all, though, Stephen, good morning to you.
Good morning, Cameron. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Absolutely, and coming up first, ladies and gentlemen, it is the major semi-final. In the men's division, it is the Australian Capital Territory up against South Australia. The top two sides from the tournament duking it out on the line a spot in tomorrow's grand final. For the loser, they'll have to take their part in the prelim final later tonight. Let me just take you through the two lineups before we get underway, starting with the Australian Capital Territory. They're captained by Matt Floros. Joining him, Vinesh Bennett, Brock Winkler, Tim Floros, Luke Ryan, Benji Floros, Tyler Hayes and Sam Dwyer. Their opponents, South Australia, they're captained by Cameron Bullard. With him, Ben Pye, Lachlan Ferguson, Dan McKay, Caleb Baldwin, Grant Doran, Jamie Diener and Ryan Jackson. The umpire for the match is Andrew Potts from Victoria. And Moggy, top two sides, you always expect an interesting clash in the major semi-final. Interestingly, these two sides have only played each other once. They're supposed to play twice. We might come back to that, what happened with the second one. But the first result, 101 runs between these two sides. Now, based on the ladder, based on the other results so far this week, would you have expected that?
Oh, look, in a way, yeah. Look, ACT is such a fantastic team, and they really have a fair bit of depth across the court. They're really sharp in the field. So for me, ACT is definitely a class above, and they've proven that over a number of years as well. In saying that, South Australia have been excellent this week. I think they've probably been the surprise packet in the Open Men's Division. They've beaten probably some bigger name teams, and they've done really, really well. I think they should be proud of their efforts. I don't know if the 101 run difference is the difference between the two teams, although I do expect ACT to probably win this one fairly comfortably.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way on paper. One of the interesting things about the ACT this year, Moggy, they've always been renowned for being one of the best bowling and fielding teams in indoor cricket. That's always been the case. That's not to say they haven't also been an excellent batting team, but it seems to me this week that's just gone to the next level.
Well, yeah, I think it has. They've been exceptionally well with the bat as well. They've put on plenty of runs. Yeah, the for and against for the ACT is massive, 721. Like, that's an average winning margin of over 70, or 70 or very close to it. So that just shows how well they've been batting, and they've backed it up with the ball in the field as well. I mean, the other thing here is these courts here at Ipswich are unique. They are a little bit smaller than most other courts out there, so that can allow teams to put on a big score. And generally, we play Super League here at Ipswich a fair bit. It's not unusual to chase scores of 120, 130, be able to chase them down because of the unique court dynamics. The other thing, too, from a batting perspective, is it's probably a slightly older court. If we go to Casey, where the last tournament was held, the court's a little bit newer, so there's a little bit more response with the ball as well. So, I think ACT have been very good, and they've got an opportunity to come out here and bat first, with South Australia winning the toss and electing to bowl.
And what do you make of that move, sending the ACT in?
I think it's a bold move. I think, I'd always like to bat first on a big occasion like this, so I think ACT probably would have done that if they had the opportunity. Gives them a chance to go out there and set a score. And I think, with this team and the way they've been batting, I think they'll be looking for 100 plus.
Without question, and tasked with getting this innings underway for the Australian Capital Territory, the ageless Vinesh Bennett and Tim Floros. They're a formidable opening partnership. They'll have to contend with Grant Doran, formidable himself, ex-Australian player. And he has the ball in hand at the back of the court here at the Ipswich Indoor Sports Centre. The final series are about to get underway. Indoor Cricket's National Championships. It's the ACT up against South Australia, and here we go. Fended into the front court there. No run. A watchful start from both sides.
Yeah, I think both teams will be a little bit nervous. ACT have played a lot of finals over the last couple of years, so they're probably a little bit more experienced, whereas ATs are, and they generally put on good runs. And the paddle, bit of a half chance, slight misfield in the front court. Good start, always good to get the first one away. 2 runs to the ACT.
Yeah, they're away. It's always good to get your account open. Steal your way into the game. It brings Tim Floros on strike for his first delivery. Straight into the great hands there in the front court for South Australia. And nothing wrong with the ball, nothing wrong with a shot. Just a good piece of fielding, keeps it to a dot.
Yeah, nice big presence up at the front court there by the South Australian boys.
It's tucked away behind backward square leg. It'll be a single. It catches the keeper's net. In indoor cricket, of course, every run except that net worth a bonus run if they cross.
Ganesh pulling out the slide nice and early.
And that one behind that leg side line and called wide by the umpire.
This has been a pretty solid start by both teams so far. Last ball of the over to come.
Called through. It's a half chance at the top, but a good response from Bennett. Again, as Moggy, you pointed out, not afraid of getting on that chest. He dives good to make good his ground. Brings the over to an end, 6 runs from it. Not a bad start for both sides. South Australia were under a fairly large injury cloud coming into this game. They look pretty sharp out there, Moggy.
They do. I mean, it's obviously quite easy to get up for these big games. There's been a lot of games of cricket. Most teams in this division have played 12 games throughout the week. So there's probably a few sore bodies, but, you're playing a national final, not a grand final, but it is a major semi-final for your state. So this is the kind of games you get up for.
Caleb Baldwin will be bowling now for South Australia. Bennett on strike. Plenty of noise in the field from South Australia. Second over underway. Full angle of the bat from Bennett, a comfortable single.
Yeah, good start there for this over for the ACT guys.
Tucked away, the down, up, pull shot from Floros. Finds the net, another 2 runs.
Baldwin's been good for South Australia throughout the week. He's taken 11 wickets so far. The South Australian team's generally a fairly young team. I think I've seen some media about them being... Nice shot. A bit of a mix-up.
Oh, given.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I absolutely did not think that was out to the naked eye, but direct hit certainly always makes a difference. And Vinesh Bennett run out at the bowler's end, and the first wicket falls. The ACT back to 4 runs.
That's a massive wicket for the South Australians. Just a little bit of uncertainty on the run.
Left alone by Floros.
This one sliding down leg side. He's generating a fair amount of pace, which is good. As I commented earlier, the shorter courts here mean a shorter run-up, so you've sort of got to use your top part of your body a little bit more.
Finds the edge.
Wild throw from the front of the court.
Forrest is quick, will likely home anyway. And 1 ball remains now in the second over. It's been a good one for South Australia, courtesy of that run out.
Yeah, it's a big wicket for South Australia. Just keeps the score in check, keeps them in the game.
Pushed, it's flat, there's another chance. A direct hit may have also been interesting. The game well and truly alive here in the early stages. 3 runs off that over from Baldwin, the run out doing the damage. The ACT, though, they're not going to be too dissatisfied. They're still on 9, Moggy.
Yeah, that's a reasonable start. I think both teams will be happy at this point in time. Obviously, ACT would be a little bit disappointed about losing that wicket. Vinesh just hit a couple of flat there and it's brought that offside sweeper into the game. Direct hit, obviously, as we know, generally gets a good wicket. So, good start for both teams.
Yeah, an enthralling contest so far, folks. I hope you are enjoying our coverage live from Ipswich Indoor Sports. If you've just joined us, I'm Cameron Walter alongside Stephen Mogg. This is the ACT up against South Australia in the major semi-final here at Indoor Cricket's National Championships. Jamie Diener is the vice-captain of the side. I'm just trying to locate him on the court. He's up down there in the front court, but we'll come back to him. Ben Pye will bowl over number 3. And another leg side. They've let a few of those through early.
Yeah, look, that's always takes the pressure off, and as a batter, you love those. It just makes things a little bit easier. It's an extra 2 runs on the scoreboard.
Well, Vinesh Bennett wanted to send that into the back court.
Yeah, it looks like he's rolled his fingers across it, a big off-cutter. And that's what you need to do at this level. You just need to do a little bit of variety, whether it's a little bit of swing, a little bit of off-cut, leg cut. And it just makes it a little bit harder for the batsman. It was a good area. Pushes, flat again, and Vinesh, big dive.
He turned the bat, so he really wanted to place that into that net. He was very deliberately hit it into that gap. Didn't matter that it was flat, and 2 runs.
Yeah, he's realised the ball's coming into him a little bit with that off-cut action, so he's just rolled the wrists on it and pushed it into the corner. It was well placed.
Yeah, followed that one, Floros.
Yeah, he's really tightening the ball into their leg side area, which makes it pretty hard. He's bowling particularly well. This has been a good over so far.
Oh, there was an opportunity there at the keeper's end. Needed it to hit. And I tell you what, if it had, I think you'll find Vinesh Bennett would have been short of his ground despite that dive. A big chance goes begging there for South Australia.
Great effort in the field. This court here, court 1 here at Ipswich, does have a little flat spot. That one tended to keep it a little bit low. I think we'll see that a fair bit throughout the day. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, the class of Vinesh Bennett. Into position early, angle of the bat, doesn't have to hit it hard, grabs 2 for his team.
Oh, exactly right. He just waited really well for that. That's a good over there for the ACT. 8 runs coming from it. I think there was a pretty good bowling by Pye as well. So ACT moved the score on to 17 with the last over to come of this pair.
Yeah, Dan McKay is going to bowl it. Critical. Well, they're all critical overs, aren't they? But these 6 balls, crucial for the rest of the match. This pair, they've lost a wicket. There's been a couple of run-out chances, 1 or 2 plays and misses. They haven't exactly dominated this South Australian attack. This over could be huge for South Australia. 1 wicket, and all of a sudden this pair is 20 or sub-20. That's a great start for South Australia. So here we go. Short and wide and put away by Bennett for 2. He won't miss out there.
No, that's bread and butter for a player of his calibre. Nice and easy. Dan will just need to work on his line a little bit.
It's an aggressive shot from Tim Floros. Yep. And it ends up finding the net. And they get through for 2.
Yeah, Tim hits the ball particularly hard on contact. One of probably the hardest hitters in the game of indoor cricket.
Driven. It's a deflection. A little bit of pinball, but Bennett is home. It's another single.
Clean fielding there might have created an opportunity. Again, Vinesh having to pull out the big dive. South Australia need a wicket.
Oh, that is a quality shot from Tim Floros. Just a little bit of width, and he punishes that ball into the back court for 4 runs. safe as houses and a dominant indoor cricket shot, Moggy.
That's a big shot in the context of the game here. It moves the score to 26 now with 2 balls remaining in this pair.
Comfortable 2 through the vacant point region there. We've got 2 fielders on the leg side in the front court. There's no one at point. There's 2 runs all day.
Yeah, I think Dan's just erred with his line a little bit here, especially with the 2 on the leg side, especially the leg side's deep as well in the front court.
Last ball of the partnership. It's aggressive. It was an opportunity. It will be a single in the end. A 29-run opening partnership here in this major semi-final for the ACT up against South Australia. Thanks for your company. We're live from Ipswich Indoor Sports. I'm Cameron Walter, and with me Stephen Mogg. I want to touch briefly, Moggy, on the forfeit. I've said at the top of the coverage these two are supposed to play each other twice. Throughout the week it did not happen. I'm going to read a statement from Indoor Sports South Australia. This was released just after they forfeited the game last night. In the best interest of the team, the game against the ACT has been forfeited. This is due to injuries. Over half the team are carrying. This will allow time for the players that are injured to get treatment, and hopefully we'll be able to fill a team for finals. All players are supportive of the decision. It was not going to affect the other state's position on the ladder. It was going to be a dead rubber. Please be understanding with the decision that has been made, but it is in the best interest of the players. The board are aware of this decision and support it. Now, I'll come back to that statement. We're about ready to get underway here. Matt Forrest, Brock Winkler at the crease. Here's Jamie Diener. He starts with a single, the ACT skipper. Now, a couple of things. South Australian squad, genuine trouble with some injuries. Few things I got a problem with this statement. Dead rubber. There's no such thing in a national tournament.
Exactly right.
No such thing. Justina continues. Oh, there's a chance there. It should have been out. Had all the time in the world. That should have been an easy wicket for South Australia, and they just let the ACT get away with one. So no such thing as a dead rubber. That game not happening has taken away another opportunity for, say, an umpire to umpire another national game. Some people, as Dina continues, off the legs of the ACT skipper. Some people for the ACT that might have been playing their last game. Things like that. So I guess I reject out of hand the notion of a dead rubber, Moggy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Every time you play for your state's a great opportunity.
Again, this time called through. Chance at the top. He's home.
That's a couple of half chances now in this over that the South Australian guys have just missed. They're creating the opportunities. They need to capitalise these against a team like ACT.
On the other side of the coin, Moggy, if you're here coaching a team, you've got, you're struggling to field a team. I mean, what option have you got?
Yeah, look, it's a tough decision. I'm concerned personally about the optics and how it actually looks. It's within the rules. There are no rules within the competition that say you can't do that. Some would argue that both of these teams have put themselves in a position where that was an option. But yeah, it probably just doesn't look great.
Leg side there. That's a let off at the end of the over. It was otherwise a brilliantly bowled over there from Diener, but 6 runs from it in the end.
Yeah, and importantly, there was a couple of opportunities, as we touched on before. South Australia will need to capitalise on those. Otherwise, ACT is just going to build up a nice big score.
Yeah, look, we're talking about the look. I would like to think there were other options available before forfeiting a game. I don't know what those options are. I can't get inside the South Australian camp. I was chatting to their coach Mark Harvey before. I don't envy his position at all. The reality was they likely couldn't get a fit side on the court to get back underway through Lachlan Ferguson.
Beautiful shot by Matt Forrest.
Absolutely brilliant shot. 2 runs to his tally. The score moves to 37.
I've been involved in a few Masters tournaments where we struggle to get 8 blokes on the court. Fit blokes, but that's Masters cricket, I guess. And I guess part of the challenge here is there was a lot of round games. Teams were expected to play 12, which is more than what is the norm.
Leg side. Yeah, and to what extent is your ability to get through those 12 round games, a requirement? You know what I mean? The idea is fitness is an element of the game.
It is, definitely. Hit that flat spot again, kept it a little bit low. but Winkler stayed nice and over the top of it, down up for one. Look, that's part of the challenge, and rotation of players is an important part. And, I think the teams that rotated well through those 12 rain games are going to put themselves in a better position come this time of the week.
Ferguson continues. Left alone, another leg side. There's a few too many of these creeping in to the South Australian game.
And yeah, if you look at some of the other states, there's been a fairly even mix of the number of games that they've actually played. A shot, good call, nice easy 2 runs there. Whereas some of the South Australian guys have played more in general, and there's a few that have played less. Now, that could be attributed to injuries to those players. There could be a number of factors involved. But I sort of felt before the tournament started, those that rotated particularly well would put themselves in a better position come Friday and Saturday, which is the key time for this tournament.
Final ball of the over. Called through again.
Now, that's good calling by Matt Forrest there. It wasn't a great shot. He's just got an outside edge, squeezed into the corner. But a really good call to rotate the strike. ACT moving on to 15 for this pair. 16
it is.
Oh, I missed the one.
Yeah. And yeah, look, we won't harp on it for too much longer. I think, again, you try and put yourselves in the shoes of the South Australian camp. They obviously felt they had no alternative. They understand the impact of it. I think the reality is, if it has allowed them to maintain some level of fitness and put aside on the court for today's finals, I suppose at the end of the day that's a good thing. Interesting call here now. Jamie Dina bowling his second over.
It is a bit of a surprising move. His first over was really good, just one leg side wide, but he did ask plenty of questions and created a couple of opportunities. I think South Australia recognise they probably need a wicket to keep this pair down and get some momentum back into the game.
A wonderful shot from Flores. I mean, it's a double-edged sword when you bowl again to a pair after an excellent first over. The batsmen you're bowling to have an opportunity to adjust. They've seen your first over. They can adjust. They might decide to concede a dot where they otherwise wouldn't.
That's right.
So it really is
shot.
High risk, high reward. As Winkler keeps that out unbelievably and gets through for a single.
Look, it is a big call, but I think in the context of the game, this is what South Australia need to do. ACT are racking up a nice score. There's 49 on the board so far, so a couple of wickets here will be crucial.
There's an opportunity. Yeah. Seems to me South Australia, and maybe this is a symptom of some of the injuries they're carrying, just some of the work in the field is just untidy.
Yeah, it's not clean. It could be a number of factors. Yes, the injuries, the weight of expectation playing in a major semi-final against a team like ACT, and probably a little bit of lack of experience playing finals at Nationals too.
Another leg side.
That one's really kicked through. There is a spot there on that court where it can stay low or kick through, and that one has kicked through. The other factor here is the level of experience that South Australia have in a men's national tournament. They are one of the youngest teams going around at this carnival as well, whereas obviously ACT are a well-experienced team and have had a lot of experience in finals cricket.
Final ball and put away, full and wide, put away by Winkler for 2 to close out the over, and we talked about it being high risk, high reward for South Australia. Well, the risk has not rewarded them. 10 runs from that over, and this pair all of a sudden on 26 with 6 balls remaining.
Yeah, look, I like the concept of what the South Australians tried there. I think it was a good ploy, but just didn't come off for them, unfortunately.
And Moggy, I can't support that enough. Yes, they didn't get the reward, but they're taking the risk. It's not sudden death for them. They will have another bite at the cherry tonight if they lose this game, so they can afford to be a little bit adventurous. And bear in mind, they lost the last game against this team by 101 runs.
That's right.
So they're looking to try new things. I'm supportive. Cam Bullard, the South Australian captain. Here he is to Winkler.
Shot.
Oh, it's out. That's what they needed. Something from nothing. It was well played by Winkler, but a direct hit from a clean piece of fielding. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for South Australia.
Yeah, that's a big wicket in this game. Just pegs the ACT second pair just back a little bit. It's a great shot by Brock Winkler, and there was definitely a run there, but just brilliant bit of fielding.
We talked about them being a little untidy. Will that spark something for South Australia? Driven with some authority. That is the response from the Australian Capital Territory skipper. Sends Bullard into the back court and grabs 4.
Yeah, Bolo just erred on his length a little bit too full, and Matt Flores took full toll.
Comfortable 2 to Winkler. He's a pretty cool, calm and collected customer, Mr. Brock Winkler.
He is.
He's not going to let that run out worry him one bit, or at least not show that it has. Yeah, another opportunity. They're through.
I think this is really good batting by ACT. Look, they lost a wicket. Rather than losing their cool and trying to chase it, they've just played some good cricket shots and been able to rebuild from that 1 wicket.
Comfortable single, and 1 ball remains now.
And that's a good call and good rotation of the strike.
They're happy to take a dot on the last ball there, the ACT, and why not? They've posted 30 runs for the second partnership and have moved their total to 59 here in the major semi-final. We're live from Ipswich Indoor Sports. I'm Cameron Walter alongside Stephen Mogg. Thanks so much for your company right around Australia and the world. It's the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships Final Series. And the ACT up against South Australia, the top 2 sides in the men's competition here at Nationals. And what a great start with the bat it's been from the ACT.
Yeah, I think ACT will be very happy with that. Definitely on track for a score of 100 plus at this point in time. So they're doing really, really well. This is a big pair for the South Australian team. They really need to keep this pair in check.
Yeah, Benji Flores and Sam Dwyer at the crease for the ACT now. Ryan Jackson, who would be one of the quickest bowlers in the comp, as you will just see. He's just won a under 20s, 20, 22, can't remember the age group, World Cup recently with New Zealand. Here he is playing for South Australia and bowling some gas. Driven! What a shot from Benji Floros. Down up 5 of one of the quickest bowlers in the comp, and an appreciative crowd lets them know about that one.
Yeah, that was a lovely shot. He's just made good contact with the ball, full face of the bat, and it's gone for 5. Jackson
finds the edge of Dwyer.
Yeah,
not moving his feet there.
Really, really sharp. And that's sometimes a disadvantage, and evident with the shot by Benji there. He's just made really good contact, and it's gone for 5. So you can use the pace sometimes, but yeah, Jackson is quick. Shot.
Oh, that is a great shot from Sam Dwyer. Playing his first finals game for the ACT. Gets a little edge on the first one. Bangs it down up 2 off the next delivery.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. Sam's been excellent this week.
Right into the hip. Off the body into the corner. It'll be a dot.
It's been a great over for ACT. 9 runs coming from it with the last ball to come. Yeah, Sam Dwyer's second on the stats for ACT over the tournament.
Oh, straight through. There's the speed of Jackson. Undoes some of the damage and goes straight through Benji Floros. And a huge wicket. They were off to another flyer until then, Moggy.
Yeah, that's an important wicket, and that's just the pure pace of Jackson as well. In saying that, I'm sure Benji will dish up some of his own a little bit later.
Yeah, that's a reasonable point.
Quickest.
So Baldwin will bowl his second over. His first one was a good one, produced a run out for South Australia. Just into the square leg region, another dot ball, and that there haven't been too many of those strung together, though. That one, 2 dots either side of a wicket.
That creates a bit of pressure on itself.
And straight through Dwyer this time. 2 wickets in 3 balls for South Australia, and this pair suddenly under the pump.
Yeah, I think we just note there that he's just probably trying to play across the line a little bit rather than playing straight. Good bowling. So we've gone dot, wicket, dot, wicket. So the pressure's right on now, and it moves ACT for this pair to -1.
Right into the legs. Another dot ball.
This has been a great little section of the game for ACT. They've changed the momentum. ACT were really putting on a big score here, and then South Australia capitalising with a couple of wickets and a couple of dot balls.
Straight through again. That one played on, I think it was. And a huge period here for South Australia. They've gone dot bowled, dot bowled, dot bowled.
Yeah, this is a great effort by South Australia. It's really changed the game now and brought them back into it. Not only that, you can see the field's up too. There's a little bit more enthusiasm out there. There's a little bit more noise. So this is a great little section for South Australia. Shot.
Oh, good answer from Dwyer. Finds the wire.
That's a really good shot. Under a fair bit of pressure. Baldwin just erred with his length, a little bit full, but you still got to hit it, and that was a beautiful shot into the springs by Sam Dwyer. Shot.
And another great shot to close out the over. That was a huge period there for South Australia. They've got this pair in the negatives, -2 after 2 overs. It's just got to be all-out attack now from South Australia, doesn't it, Moggy?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. We've got Jackson coming on to bowl again, so...
Well, that's a move that they tried earlier in the previous pair with Dina. It didn't come off for them. This time they can sense some blood in the water, and they're going for the jugular.
Oh, I think it's a perfect move. It all started at the back end of his first over, where he created a little bit of pressure with the dot ball and got that first wicket, and South Australia got on a roll. Let's see how it unfolds here.
So Jackson to Floros. Through again! He's done it again! It's the 4th castle in this pair. South Australia right on top. And they are well and truly alive in this major semi-final.
It's been an impressive spell here. And it all started with the end of Jackson's last over. Just too quick. I think Benji's probably gone a little bit too hard at that.
Oh no, it was a certain wicket. The flick was wild. They had much more time than perhaps he thought.
And look, maybe that's the emotion of the game there too, you know. South Australia seem very pumped up at the moment, right in the contest. Jackson in the bowl again. Shot.
Oh, that is a great shot. And Doran does the tidying up at the back and keeps it to 3.
And as we talked about earlier, you know, that express pace, all you've got to do is make really good contact with the ball, and that's what he did. Just erred with his length, a little bit full, and just a little bit too easy for Sam Dwyer to put it in the back court.
And to your point, didn't try and overhit it. The call
Mix
through,
up.
that'll be out. Oh, I don't think he had the ball.
A direct hit would have definitely been out there. Slight fumble by the keeper.
Yeah.
Probably let ACT off. A wicket there for South Australia would have been huge.
Absolutely. Instead, it is a single. The strike keeps rotating. 2 balls remain for Ryan Jackson in this major semi-final. Oh, it's off the body. They get through for a single.
And that was
a no ball. Front foot.
And it was a really good call by Benji there. The ball went into the corner off the leg and rotated the strike nicely.
So 1 ball remains now. Full, punched into the side net for 2 in the end. And, well, they lost a wicket and still got 5 runs off that over. That is a huge win for the ACT, if you ask me.
Oh, I think it is too. And the no ball one probably hurts a little bit as well.
Yeah. However, for South Australia, still good news. Just 3 on the board for this pair, only 1 over to come. And it's going to be the captain, Cameron Bullard. Remember, he produced a run out off the first ball of his previous over as well. So it's all out attack here for South Australia. What can they do? Can they do some more damage to this pair? Stay in the hunt in this major semi-final. Here's Bullard to Benji Floros.
It's a chance.
Oh. It's an aggressive shot, an aggressive call. Doran with the flick. Tell you what, would have been out.
It would have definitely been out.
Yeah.
It didn't miss by much either.
Oh, he's left it alone. It's the leg side. Bullard not happy with the call. It looked wide to me, Moggy.
It was very, very tight. Well, the umpire's got the best position in the house for that one. So
they get the ball and the delivery. They keep the runs and get the delivery again as Dwyer helps himself to 2, this time on the offside.
Slight adjustment by Bullard there. Obviously went tight on the legs, but just put that one a little bit too wide, and it was just too easy, and Sam Dwyer up for the task. Beautiful 2. Shot.
Fantastic contact there from Benji Floros. You can see the difference, the pace. Like, we're talking 4 or 5 yards of pace, the difference, and these two are hitting full face, good contact now. 3 balls remain. Driven, deflection. Jackson saves 3 in the end there. That surely would have gone for 5. And 2 to come.
South Australia would really like another wicket here. They've been well on top of this pair, but ACT are just getting back into the game. It's been a particularly good over. Shot.
Oh, that is a glorious indoor cricket shot from Benji Floros. A down up 3 on the offside. They don't come much better than that.
And I think Bollard just erred again on length. He was just a little bit too full, and Benji was able to put that on the top of the springs on the 3 net.
And called through for a single to finish. And 13 runs off the over in a partnership of 16. Given they were bowled 1, 2, 3, 4 times in that partnership, the ACT will see that as a huge victory.
Oh, that's a massive result, getting to 16 for that pair. And they just stuck with it. You know,
absolutely.
They copped some really good bowling, some extreme heat there from Jackson as well. But they just kept cool. They kept their mind, and 16. We know 16 in a final at Nationals level is a really good score.
Well, especially with 59 already on the board. And I just want to focus in on that point you just made. They kept at it. How often do we see batting partnerships crumble in the face of pressure? They lose, those four, not just wickets, they got bowled 4 times. They've come back and hit 18 runs off the next 2 overs to post 16. That's fantastic batting. But, again, it just shows that South Australia aren't going anywhere. They are well and truly in this contest. Grant Doran will bowl his second over now with Luke Ryan and Tyler Hayes at the crease for the ACT.
Shot. Beautiful shot by Luke Ryan.
Case to be made he's played that in front of his face.
He did sort of crouch down a fair bit to get over the top of it.
It's only got to go above shoulders, doesn't it?
Yeah, I still think he sort of crouched down a fair bit. It was a good shot either way.
Definitely. Single to Tyler Hayes, recent recipient of the Rockets Rising Star Award.
He had a great year last year.
Sure did, yeah.
It's good he's come through the system, through the 22s into the Open men's team.
I remember playing 14s or 16s, or can't remember which one it was. Well, off the body, through for a single. Tyler, of course, the son of Jason Hayes, former ACT men's player.
And that one's kept a little bit low as well, so it's hit that area. Doran's obviously a tall bowler and generally gets a nice little bit of bounce, but that one just kept a little bit low.
Oh, it's great position.
That shot was lovely.
Yeah, just moving across to it. Yeah, I'm not sure if it hit the net, Moggy, but it's been given 2. Was the South Australians not happy with that call?
Oh, the shot deserved to. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Straight into hands, and a good response from the 2 batsmen. Straight back into their crease, a dot ball.
Yeah, it was a good early call. Ball was hit pretty flat. Good bit of fielding there on the leg side line by Jackson. I'm sure he throws them as hard as he bowls them too.
Yeah. Last ball. It's caught the keeper's net, I believe, so it'll be a single to close out the over. And 7 runs from it. Another positive over for the ACT. Remember, the last time these two sides played each other, well, the only time they played each other, the ACT posted 130. Now, they're not going to get 130 today, but they are certainly looking at 110, thereabouts, 100, 110. A huge score in a major semi-final.
Well, look, it is a massive score. And you're probably looking at 20 or 30 runs less in the big games.
Yeah.
And look, South Australia just probably need a couple of wickets here. If they can keep it under 100, there's that psychological advantage.
Here's Ben Pye. Oh, chance. The keeper left his box.
Yeah, his first over was pretty good as well, bowling in that first pair. He just took the pace off the ball, big off-cutters, and the ball's actually responding quite well. See how he goes if he adjusts his line to the left-hand batsman. Oh, that one the other way. Like a bit of an out swing to a right-hander or in swing into the left-hander, that one.
And that one behind the legs, so it's a wide.
Yes, as signalled by Tyler Hayes. Good variety. Keep the batsman guessing.
It's flat, but it's in the gap. It'll be 4 big runs for the ACT.
I think he tried to bowl another in-swinger, but that was a lovely shot by Tyler Hayes. Look, yeah, along the ground. Very hard to get down to those ones, but 4 runs, big result.
Sent back, it'll be out. Not much you can do about that. He was on contact, probably a run there, but I think it might have hit the bat twice and angled out straight to the fielder. And South Australia, they're not going to miss out on those, and it's good to see they are actually still up for the simple wickets.
Yeah, look, that was a good result. Yeah, slight miss hit, probably a slightly late call. Tyler Hayes slightly overcommitted, but those things happen sometimes. But still doing okay with 9 so far for the skin.
The dot ball, just into some traffic there, the ball in the front court. No interest in a run after the run out off the previous delivery. And 1 to come in the 14th over.
Shot.
Plenty of width for Luke Ryan. He will eat that for breakfast every day of the week. He grabs 3 off the last ball and still a positive over for the ACT.
I think the one thing we'll take out of this batting performance across the whole team from ACT is they're cool, calm and composed. We saw in that third pair that they were in an awful lot of trouble, but built and kept staying in the fight and were able to put on a decent score. The ACT boys then got run out, but the next shot there was a little bit of a misfield and it was hit flat. Some teams or some players would have run, but they had the presence to say, no, we'll stay here and just try and keep building a nice score.
Ferguson, penultimate over of the innings, squares up Ryan. They scamper through.
And that one kept a little bit low as well. Big 11 balls to come here at the end of this innings for the ACT guys. And it's kicked up a little bit. ACT will just be looking to push to 100. South Australia will love another couple of wickets at this point in time. Pushed wide.
Makes it a little too easy at this point.
Probably that's the one thing with South Australia as well. They've just bowled a couple of too many extras at this level and it's taken the pressure off.
Sent back. Be a dot.
Signal from Tyler as that one's kept low as well.
It's just what is it, some uneven concrete or something under the surface there?
I have no idea what it is, but there is one little spot.
Another extra. Still 1 ball to come in the over.
We call it the Noxie spot up here because he tends to find it every chance he gets.
I wish I could say that surprised me.
Shot.
Yeah, too much width. Put away by Hayes. 2 to finish. 8 runs off the over. They've moved the score now to 95. Looking at 3 figures plus. And, we need to turn our attention to whether or not this is the sort of score that South Australia can chase down. They certainly didn't come up with the runs last time against the ACT, but they have done so throughout the rest of the competition. So it will be an interesting run chase. It's just a matter of how much it will be. Dan McKay will bowl the last over of the innings. These two on 10 runs apiece for their 20-run partnership.
Setting up an interesting field here on the leg side for Tyler. Both leg side, 2 leg fielders on the leg side in the front court, both straight and deep.
Yeah. See how it goes. The dot ball. So setting a field like this does 2 things, right? You're protecting against the on drive, for one, and trying to take that out of the game.
Tyler plays that well too.
Exactly. And perhaps making the batsman try and play into that leg side net where they otherwise wouldn't. And get in their head like that. Bowled at the top of off stump. Dan McKay comes up with a wicket, an all-important wicket, just as the ACT were looking at 100 plus. Well, they may not get there, Moggy.
They may not. And it could be that psychological advantage that South Australia need for this run chase to come. And I think a lot of that fielding changes, you are getting in the batsman's head as well. And it's just making him think outside the box, think outside what they normally do.
Hits him on the leg. They get through for a dot. Single. They get through for a dot. I did mean single.
I did. Yeah. Kicked it into the corner, as they say.
Yeah.
Dan's got a big smile on his face as he's coming back.
Let's see it. Back to an orthodox field now.
3 balls remaining.
Oh, sent back. It's in the gap. Very hesitant there from Ryan. Happy to soak up a dot. And 2 balls remain now.
Look, this is the experience of Dan. He's just changing his field a little bit. This is, I think, his 12th at Nationals at open men's level, I believe. So using all that years of experience, just setting the field, just getting all the finer adjustments right.
And just played straight into the net for 2. And 2 balls. 1 ball remains now.
I think ACT just be looking for a nice 2. Get it at 95. Still a very competitive score on a final. Shot.
Hit with some authority by Hayes to close out the innings. 2 runs off the last delivery, no runs off the last over. 95 runs is the total for the Australian Capital Territory. It is the major semi-final at the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships. We're live from Ipswich Indoor Sports here in Queensland. I'm Cameron Walter, and with me, Stephen Mogg. It's the top 2 sides. The winner gets a spot in tomorrow's grand final. The loser will have to take on the winner of the minor semi-final. We'll talk about that in a minute later today in the prelim. 95 runs on the board for the ACT. South Australia capable of chasing that down?
Oh, look, I think probably ACT would be a little disappointed. I think they were looking for that 100 plus, 110 perhaps. So they're probably about 15 below what they would have expected. I think South Australia will come out here with plenty of confidence, but I think the important thing is how this first pair gets away. If they can get away, and look, skins aren't relevant here, but if they can get to that 20-25, keeps them in the game, it gives them a bit of belief, and I think that'll be a big part of it.
Yeah, no question. The start will be crucial here. I mentioned the minor semi-final. That's going to take place a little later on today, folks. I hope you can stay with us throughout today's coverage of a blockbuster semi-final day. But the minor semi-final in the men's division, Queensland up against Victoria.
That's right.
Queensland only securing their spot in finals in the last game of the rounds. Victoria, effectively the same thing. They both could have been knocked out. That's unusual, but both those sides absolutely capable of winning that game, winning through to the final and taking out the title.
Oh, that's exactly right. I mean, the pleasing thing for me in this Open Men's division is, look, ACT were a little bit in front of everyone else, and South Australia were really good, but that next pack of teams was so close. We're talking about Queensland, who you'd normally expect to be probably in the top 1-2. Victoria have been there and been quite competitive over the years. WA and New South Wales also just missed out as well. So, look, that should be a cracking game. I think that'll be a great game later. Well, that's next, actually. So that one will be next, and then whoever goes through will take on the loser from this game. So
we'll just briefly go through that schedule. So from 12 p.m. Eastern Time, it's Queensland-Victoria in the Open Men's minor semi-final. Then, I think it's all prelims from there. At 2 p.m. Eastern, it's the under-22 women. New South Wales up against Western Australia. The winner goes through to the final. 4 p.m. Eastern, the under-22 men's. It's the Australian Capital Territory up against Queensland. And then we're back to the Opens. From 6 p.m, it's the women's prelim between Victoria and South Australia. And then at 8 p.m, the final game on a blockbuster semi-final day. It'll be the winner of the minor semi-final up against the loser of this game in the prelim final for the right to play in the grand final.
What a day of cricket.
Yeah, sensational. Now, Dan McKay, Jamie Diener going to open the batting here for South Australia. Luke Ryan will open the bowling for the ACT. 95 runs separate these two sides from a place in the grand final. The ACT, they've won a few in recent years. For South Australia, well, I don't think they've ever won one at the Open Men's level. So
this is a big pair for South Australia. It's two of their more experienced players, and they've been batting quite well throughout the tournament as well. The ACT crowd's getting behind. We'll see that build as the day goes on.
It's got to be a no ball. It is. Ryan shortens him up first ball. Diener helps himself to 2, plus the no ball, 4 runs. He'll take that start.
Yeah, how good was the shot too? Jamie Ryan's pretty quick. Sorry, Lukey Ryan. Shot. Great start from ACT. 6 runs coming from the from South Australia. Yeah, 6 runs coming from the first 2 balls. Exactly the start they were after. Nice shot there. Another 2 runs on the board.
Everything short so far from Ryan. It's kept off the net. It'll be a single.
You're right, everything's been a little bit short of a length. And these guys should be used to it now. They've played 11 or 12 games on these courts, but that shorter run-up does create some problems sometimes.
Right in at the hip of Diener. He leaves it alone. It'll be a dot ball.
Yeah, that was a much better length. Just put his length a little bit fuller there and created a little bit of uncertainty. Good presence of mind by the South Australian boys. Oh, that one's exploded off a good length.
It has. A great finish to the over from Luke Ryan, but some of the damage done early. South Australia take 9 runs from that over. They will, however, start the next over on third ball, the first one of the match.
Right.
We didn't see the ACT on third ball at all in their innings, if I'm not mistaken. So 2 consecutive dot balls within a partnership means the next delivery must see the score change. Runs, extras or wickets. It's going to be Sam Dwyer to bowl the over, an equal leading wicket taker for the ACT, I believe. Enjoyed a good tournament with the ball. Here's an opportunity now for the ACT. McKay on strike. Oh, it should be out. Will be out. It's got to be out. It is. It's third ball. And they cash in the ACT. The first wicket falls. I'm not sure. Did he call that wide? I mean, it should have been out the minute that Diener turned around, no? He must have called it wide. Because it's given it out, run out in the book. Unless the umpire didn't realise it was third ball.
Possibly. And even, the South Australian guys didn't recognise it was third ball by the looks of it either.
Yeah. So, not quite sure how it happened, how it led to that moment, but it was a run out in the end. And the first wicket falls. A dot ball follows. Straight to Matt Floros. Best hands in the game at that leg side position. And speaking of hands, how would you like to be Vinesh Bennett having to receive those?
No, thank you. Yeah, Matt Floros throws them as hard as anyone out there. The good thing about his throwing is it's always right around the stumps.
Yeah. Third ball again. Into the fielder. It'll be a single. Gee, you can see why Dwyer's been one of the more successful bowlers for the ACT this week.
And just being it in the perfect area. Every ball's been on the money.
Yeah. A chance. It's out. Another wicket falls. McKay can't get there. Creates another opportunity the ACT front court will not miss out on. And another wicket falls. The ACT right on top here. I think you'll find the bat bounced there.
Possibly, yeah.
It looked to me. And that's how he was adjudged out.
Yep.
One ball remains. Full
Shot.
Yeah, just over pitching and put into the back court there. I think that's found the 3 net. We'll just wait for the umpire to put it in the book. It is 3. 2 for -6 off the over though. And South Australia, if they're going to stay in this hunt, can't afford for any pair to be in the single digits really. That's right. They just need to stay in the hunt, give that last pair an opportunity to win the game.
And look, this is one of the better pairs, I feel, for South Australia as well. So they are expecting them to get off to a good start. So far, it's just been those couple of run-outs. And it was all created on a couple of third ball opportunities as well, in and around that. So it was a really good over.
Here's Tyler Hayes to bowl the third over of the innings. McKay on strike. It's fair delivery. That must have just snuck in that line. Wide, it's pinged off the net, out of reach of the front court. They get through for 2.
It's a little bit of flat, bit of a half chance there. ACT didn't capitalise. For me, ACT are one of the best fielding teams in the competition, especially Matt Floros. He is an absolute machine on the leg side. Creates so many opportunities, turns half chances into full chances.
Best in the world. Short, he crouched, but it's called no ball.
Oh, that's a late call by the umpire.
He's played it in front of his face, fair enough, but it's a question of, we were talking about it earlier, was he crouched below what would ordinarily be his batting stance? I'm not sure that he was. So
it's a tight call either way.
Yeah.
Hayes to come in and bowl. Good shot by Tam McKay.
Yeah, comfortable single. And, that was another shortish delivery from these guys. McKay using his height to get on top of that and hit it down up.
I wonder if it's a deliberate ploy from ACT.
I'd say it 100% is. I'm not sure the extent to which these two have been playing the drive through the week, but if there's some thought that that's where they get the bulk of their runs, shorten them up with a bit of pace. These two still batting well, but not getting away with free-flowing runs. Final ball of the third over.
Shot.
In at the hip, tucked away for 2. It's a direct hit and out. Nothing wrong with a shot, but again, it's Matt Floros. You just can't put the ball anywhere near him. He'll get you every day of the week. And he's created something from nothing. What should have been a safe and comfortable 2 instead is a run out. Look, McKay's a tall guy. That must have been tight, or again, a bouncing bat. I don't know.
One of the best in the business, Matt Floros. That's 3 run-outs, 3 crucial run-outs in this first pair. South Australia had been looking to build momentum, but it just, a couple of key bits of fielding there have put them under an awful lot of pressure.
So it is Matt Floros, the captain. He'll bowl the last over to this partnership. Dina on strike. Right in at the chest.
I think it's a deliberate ploy now.
Oh, it clearly. And it's proving to be an effective one.
It certainly has. Shot.
Yeah, Dina is consistently adjusting well. He's played a couple of shots there that have looked quite comfortable. You know, good piece of fielding might have resulted in the run out, but as far as the batting goes, he's adjusting well. That'll be a dot.
Yeah, ACT on top of this game at the moment. A couple of crucial wickets through this first pair. Just going to put a little bit of pressure on the pairs to come.
There's an opportunity. It just stays out of the hands of Winkler. Just kept getting away from him.
That was a really good call. The ball's gone right out of reach of Brock Winkler there, and it was an easy 2 runs in the end. Shot.
With that time from Floros, Dina won't miss out on that. A comfortable 2 on the offside.
Last ball of this skin here with South Australia on 11 runs.
And it'll be a dot ball to finish. A great delivery it was. And 11 runs from the opening partnership here in the major semi-final. It's the ACT up against South Australia. If you've just joined us, you're watching the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships Final Series. I'm Cameron Walter alongside Stephen Mogg, and we're live from the Ipswich Indoor Sports Centre here in Queensland. And, that's it's probably not the start South Australia would have wanted, but they can take heart from the fact that they are still in the game. They're still well and truly in the game. There's still some 12 overs to come, but I think 85 runs from it, totally gettable. The unfortunate thing for them, they've got to contend with the ACT attack.
Well, that's exactly right, and they've been good. And in particular, Benji Forrest.
Yeah, who's bowling this over. You saw a bit of interest there for an appeal. Brock Winkler, who took the quote-unquote catch, completely disinterested.
Yeah, I think there was a fair bit of knee.
Yeah.
That's one that's kept low. There's that spot again.
Yeah. Bullard at the crease facing. Ferguson at the other end. This will now be third ball.
It's a good start by ACT to this pair.
It should be out. No, they can't execute this time. It's well done from Bullard and Ferguson to get through for that single in a third ball situation. Just trying to...
No ball, front foot by the looks of that one.
Yeah. I tell you what, the umpire is really poorly lit. You know, I could barely see him up against that shed background, so I'm glad you saw that. No ball.
Good change of pace. Beat him with a real quick one earlier, and it just changed the pace there. Good check shot. Nothing to come from it. It's been a good over so far. One to come.
Edged and out. A great finish to the over from the ACT. Lots of variation there from Benji Floros, and cashes in the simplest of catches, backward of point. And South Australia are in some trouble now, and they'll have to contend with Sam Dwyer, who, along with his captain, I believe, is leading the wickets. And now he's in front of his skipper. It's along with Brock Winkler.
He bowled a pretty reasonable first over as well, so his second over for the game. Just hitting a good area, good line and good length.
It's a good adjustment from Bullard. Again, we can certainly see the signs of the quality batting that makes up this South Australian lineup. The challenge for them is the consistency we've seen from this ACT attack. They have to be ready for it every delivery. There's no respite.
Yeah, exactly right, and the field as well. Just making a slight adjustment with his field, pushing the lead side further down. Shot.
Yeah, that is a great shot. The adjustment doesn't work. A fuller delivery there from Dwyer, and Ferguson doesn't miss out. 3 runs. And the onside in the backcourt.
Well, Sam Dwyer's been doing well, is hitting a good length. Just over the one before. Nice shot. 2 runs. I think South Australia's got to keep trying to build. Try not to lose too many more wickets. If this pair can hit 20, 25, it keeps them in the game. Inside edge. No runs scored. South Australia team total of 16, chasing a score of 95. A bit of fielding again by ACT, created a little bit of uncertainty. Good call by South Australia not to take the run.
So we'll start the next over on third ball. Sam Dwyer finishes with figures of 2 for 1. It's a little bit surreal seeing him out there playing finals cricket. I remember when he was a teenager doing a bowling session with him back home at Canberra, and he got frustrated as hell because he couldn't hit the top of the off stump. Took about 45 minutes, but he eventually did. And here he is bowling in a national major semi-final. It's a bit surreal.
Yeah.
Tim Forrest now. Bowl over number 7.
A little bit too much width there.
Yeah.
An easy 2 runs for Bullard.
Yeah, Bullard won't miss out on that stuff. Yeah, to your point, just continue to accumulate. Really, they need to be on 60-ish after the 12th. That's where they need to be, and they're still well and truly in the game.
Exactly right. Oh.
A little fuller.
Appeal, maybe for a caught behind or a stopping perhaps.
They were interested.
Ball moved quite well through the air there. A little bit of swing in towards the left-handed batter.
Back into the legs. Oh, could have been out.
It was a big opportunity there.
Yeah. You don't see the ACT miss out on too many of those that time. The throw in from Ryan. Oh, Hayes, I'm not sure, was ready for it. It is third ball again, though. An opportunity here. Oh, it's a clear leg side.
Yeah,
and let off there.
Big leg side wide. Timmy will be a little bit disappointed with that one. Created a fair bit of pressure getting onto the third ball and just took the pressure off. 2 to come in this over. Oh, good call in the end.
Yeah, that exceptional response there from South Australia. Yeah, you might have felt, okay, the ACT have let us get away with a couple. Let's chance one. No, kept their heads.
Yeah.
And very fortunate there. 1 ball remains. It's flat. It's driven back to the receiver. It hits the stumps. A diving Ferguson is home.
He was safe. He's come up grimacing, but I have actually noticed a few of the South Australian guys sort of wincing a few times and grabbing hamstrings and groins. So obviously there is a number of injuries out there. So
look, I don't doubt it. I guess I've just still got a philosophical problem with forfeiting a game to stay fit for this one.
Yeah.
And I've known a lot of these South Australian guys for a long time. There's no doubt in my mind that there's no maliciousness, none of that nonsense. It's not none of that. I'm not in that camp. I can't put myself inside that decision. It just doesn't quite sit right with me.
Well, the challenge will be that they'll potentially have to get up for another game at 8 o'clock tonight. Potentially. There's still a lot of time in this game to go.
Yeah. Brock Winkler will bowl the last over to this partnership. Starts with a wide, so they'll get the runs and the delivery again.
I think this pair really needs to try and get to their score of 20. It'll mean 30 runs and it'll keep South Australia in the game.
100%. 100%.
Squeeze into the
Chance at the top. A little bit of ball watching from Ferguson, but the call from Bullard was right. There was enough time for him to get home.
It was a good call. Brock Wickler does have a knack of taking a wicket, but so that's what the ACT boys will be looking for.
Yeah, he's created a few from nowhere in the past, Moggy.
Yeah, key times of games as well. It's interesting to note here that Benji Forrest on the leg side and even Sam Dwyer in the backcourt are standing
quite deep. Yeah,
really deep.
Yep. And that'll be out. Yeah, we've been giving the South Australian, these two, plenty of credit for their calling and how they've reacted to one another. But the point I made earlier, Moggy, you've got to do that the whole way through. It's just that one error, and the ACT pounce right when South Australia were rebuilding nicely.
Oh, exactly right, and that's a crucial wicket there too. ACT well and truly in control of this game with 3 balls left in this over. And Brock gets another wicket at a key time.
Driven off the bat, and gee, they're appealing for the catch as well.
Had to run out, it was all happening.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind the appeal for the catch. If that's driven straight into the bat, that's come up straight in the air.
And it bounced.
Gee, I'd love to slow that one down and have another look. Either way, it's one in the book, and 1 ball remains. A dot ball to finish. The second partnership comes to an end. 12 runs on the board. 23 is the total for South Australia. Well, they're well and truly behind par, but again, they are not out of this contest. It's going to take an incredible batting performance from here for them to get on top of the ACT. But Ryan Jackson at the crease, not only has he been bowling thunderbolts, he's been hitting plenty of runs for South Australia, and he's joined by Pye. Same story. They're both plenty of runs, so this is the pair. Benji Flores gets us underway, and there's 3 to start for Pye.
Like that coming in and facing someone like Benji. But yeah, look, obviously Jackson went through Benji with a couple of really quick balls, so let's see if he can return the favour here. Shot.
Too much width. And you can see already these two are going to play through the ball. They're going to place the ball well. Between them, they're averaging about 25. Get 30 runs on the board here, it's still game on. I don't think it's beyond these two. This is the premiership quarter.
It is. Oh, that one's cut back in a long way. What I really like with these two coming in now is they're actually showing a fair bit of intent. They're actually looking to hit the ball and play really positively, which is good to see. Chance. A little bit of a chance.
They're appealing for interference there. That's a bit optimistic. Sorry, Moggy, continue.
Yeah, look, I think here Benji just bowled a few change-ups here. A bit of the off-cutter. It's interesting to see.
It'll be 3rd ball now.
See what he does here.
Oh, it'll be out. Oh, the direct hit. It's the old 3rd ball out. They executed perfectly. And
well, yeah, the ploy there was to go full and wide.
It was.
Direct hit by Tyler Hayes as the keeper too. Excellent work.
Honestly, I was going to say, he probably didn't need to let it go that hard, but he just knew he was going to throw the stumps down. So, 1 to come now. No runs off the over. Oh. And that'll be out as well. 2 in 2 balls.
What sharp fielding in the front court there. Lukey Ryan, what a great bit of fielding.
It's one of the things you can't afford to let an ACT side do either, is get on a roll.
Yeah, bang, bang.
Yeah.
A couple in a row. Puts South Australia in all sorts of trouble at the moment. With Timmy Forrest to come on the bowl.
Well, I mean, and this is what I mean. You go, oh, God, we just faced Benji Flores, 2 run-outs and 2 balls. Great. Oh, who's bowling now? Tim Flores. Yeah, excellent.
They never let up.
Yeah. Here is Tim Flores. Top ball to start.
Perfect area there. Leg side, knee high. That's exactly where you want to be. See how the South Australian boys respond. A little bit flat. Pierced the field, but good call for 2 runs. Be interesting to see if South Australia change their plan of attack here and start looking more aggressively. They're getting to that time in the game where they need to start doing that.
That's a leg side. Well, Moggy, they're not going to knock their way to another 76 runs in the, 6.5 overs they've got left, right? They've also got another, this is not sudden death for them. So they might as well. What can we do to adjust?
Yeah.
If we do win through to the final, we do play the ACT.
Yeah. Shot.
How are we going to beat them?
Yeah.
What are we going to do differently to change the outcome, right? If they're ever going to experiment, now's the time.
Well, yeah, and I think ACT are one of those teams that play very traditional style indoor cricket, Maybe let's get them out of their comfort zone here, South Australia. Be aggressive. I mean, I think ACT are good enough to adjust if that starts to happen.
Definitely.
But let's put the pressure back onto ACT, and that's what I'd be thinking if I was South Australia in this particular circumstance.
Yeah, see if you can give them a few cuts, and they'll take a scar into the final. That's worth doing. One ball remains.
Yeah, straight to Matt Flores. No run there. Good call. Particularly good over there by Timmy Flores.
Still, though, 6 runs from it. It'll be 3rd ball to start this next over. And, looks like it'll be Vinesh Bennett. So, yeah, again. Okay, Benji Flores. Okay, Tim Flores. Okay, Vinesh Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't get easy, does it?
No. So, how does South Australia respond? They're some 72 runs away with 6 overs remaining.
I think ACT have recognised that South Australia might go hard. Benji's back at the back net too. It's almost like 2 receivers.
Look, and there could be an element of self-preservation in that too. The last thing the ACT want is an injury out of this game.
That's right.
That said, Matt Flores is standing right where he normally stands. No problems.
Well, the whole leg side for ACT is a little deep. Even Lukey Ryan's on the line there. Almost where a traditional leg side sweeper would be.
We haven't seen Pye really try and turn it around that corner. He has tried to play through the V no matter where the ball is, so you can see the merit in it.
Shot.
And if it's on off, he'll find that offside net.
Nice bit of outswing bowling there by Bennett. Beautiful shot. So wide, tight on the leg side, but correct call by the umpire. South Australia moved to 7 for the Skin team, total of 30, chasing a big 95 runs.
Oh, that's out. It is. Too sharp from the ACT. Pye just a little lethargic, getting back into his crease at the non-striker's end, and they cash in again.
Lacked intent, I think, running between the wickets. And that's how good ACT are in the field. You give them half a little chance and they generally capitalise. And that's probably the biggest difference we've seen between the 2 teams in this game so far.
Oh, it's hit the stumps. Is it out? Oh, it would have been tight.
Like to see that one on the replay.
It's a big shot. I think what made that harder for the umpire, irrespective of whether it was out, is it just clipped the stumps. It didn't smash into them. So, I think he was home.
Very unlucky there. But a good bit of fielding, and that fielding change that ACT made, bringing Benji back, paid off on that particular case.
Well, almost, though Winkler and Benji Forrest were standing in the same place. They were almost in each other's way for that delivery. So, no, who knows. Winkler will bowl over number 12. There's 5 overs remaining in the match. Straight to Tim Floros.
It's that presence in the front court there. ACT are just so good. Shot. Nice shot for 2 runs. Winkler just a little bit wide. Make it too easy for Jackson.
See, there's plenty of intent here from these two. And, hey, couple more shots like that, and they're still in the game. I said they needed to be at around about 60 at the end of this partnership. Well, it's still well and truly off there, but 1 or 2 more back-net shots in the next, not just these 3 balls, but the start of the next over.
Put some pressure back on ACT.
Yeah. There's another one. It's missed field and a dot ball in the end.
I think they're showing their intent here, and it's exactly what they need to do. They need to get a few more down to the backcourt here. Just create a bit of uncertainty for the ACT guys. 2 balls to come.
Oh, would have been a screamer.
Yeah, tough chance.
Yeah. It is 2 in the book, and 1 ball remains in this 12th over and 3rd partnership. And an easy dismissal to finish. And not that it matters, but that means the ACT win the skin. Little psychological victory there as well. And they stay right on top. Every time there's a glimmer of hope for South Australia, the ACT have something to say about it. Here in the major semi-final, folks, it's the ACT up against South Australia. If you've just joined us, I'm Cameron Walter alongside Stephen Mogg, and you are watching the final series at the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships. It is a blockbuster day of semi-final cricket here from Ipswich. This, of course, the first game of the day. Coming up next at 12 p.m. Eastern, it's Queensland up against Victoria in the men's minor semi-final. Sudden death indoor cricket, that one will be. They'll be fighting for the right to take on what looks like it'll be South Australia in the prelim final later tonight. That's the first of, well, the second of plenty of fantastic semi-final cricket to come live from Ipswich Indoor Sports. I hope you are enjoying our coverage and can stay with us as Luke Ryan gets us back underway with Grant Doran and Caleb Baldwin at the crease for South Australia.
Oh, wicket's a little bit low. Interesting to note that Benji Forrest has just come off the court and Alexander Floros has come on. So there may be a little injury there illegal that ACT are looking to protect with a big game potentially for them tomorrow.
Oh, this will be out, will it? No, the throw was wild. It's called a no ball. Big tall man, Grant Doran.
He is. So it's taken a fair bit to get up there.
That's an effort.
It's probably the right call, but...
Well, I think it's actually chest height and then hit something and ridden up. So probably not technically a no ball. And that nothing technical about that. That's straight through from Luke Ryan. He's bowled him.
He is a very good bowler. Straight on the stumps. Batter backed away. Tried to play into the 2-net on the side and luckily was bowled. Big call, good run and big dive. Big Grant Doran takes 2 steps and dives his way in.
Two balls to come. Chance at the top, or either end really, but these two look pretty quick and certainly not afraid of the dive. They're home. Top ball to finish. 3 runs off the over with that wicket. and just 3 overs remain in the match. Look, I've been a little bit critical of the forfeit, and they're obviously not on the pace here in this game today, but how about this South Australian side? They haven't been competitive at the Nationals level for a long time. Here they are, finished second, right? Finished second after the round games. You'd probably have to say, if you ignore the fitness aspect, probably favourites to get through the prelim later tonight as well, based on the results earlier in the week.
Probably, yeah.
That's a fantastic effort from the guys in South Australia to get this side up and to be as competitive as they have been.
They have been excellent this week and really probably played above what everyone expected.
Here's Tyler Hayes, his second over.
So, yeah, full credit to them. They've done some excellent work throughout the week. Unsure of the fitness of the guys coming in. They are obviously struggling a little bit fitness-wise at the moment. But, yeah, they've got to hold their head up high with what they've achieved so far. But it is definitely not over. They still have a chance to make the big dance tomorrow. Shot.
I was talking before about, I remember Tyler Hayes playing juniors. It's this tiny little kid. Look at him now. He's a unit, isn't he?
He's been to the gym or something.
Yeah, what a rig.
Yeah. Last year it was so pleasing to see him actually really play in the open men's and really feel like he contributed too. He was excellent.
It's the leg side.
He's a very aggressive batter, and I think he's very aggressive with the ball in his hand too.
He hit a 6 off the last ball in the Cricket ACT Premier Cricket T20 comp to win the final for the Tuggeranong Cricket Club last summer. Summer just gone. Didn't he enjoy that?
Oh, I'm sure he did. Plenty of confidence for the young man too.
Shorten him up.
I think Brock Winkler almost ducked into that one too.
It'll be third ball to close out the over.
Yeah, ACT well on top.
Oh, it's out. Third ball wicket was full and wide, and a fair delivery. They didn't run, and out third ball as a consequence. It's a well executed third ball out there from the ACT.
Yeah, that's generally their go-to on a third ball, and it's a very effective plan more often than not, especially at that pace too.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the X factor, isn't it? It's fair, all well and good to have a full and wide plan on third ball, but most people are expecting that. It's difficult to do anything about it when it comes through at pace. Here's Bennett, his second over. Straight back to Dwyer, who's fielding at a deep three-line position. I think what Queenslanders call a sweeper, what others call a guard fielder. He's very deep, but only on the onside. Straight back to Bennett, holds onto it, happy with the dot. That's two of them in fact, so it will again be third ball. And now, the onside front court, including Matt Flores, very deep and straight. Two just smashes it. Safely negotiates third ball.
Some of it could be self-preservation too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's only 9 balls left in this game. Shot. Beautiful shot. Just waited on it, played it nicely for 2, and 2 easy runs.
I notice Alexander Floros, the substitute fielder, is receiving. Now, there was a temporary rule change. It only lasted a year, I think, maybe about 10 years ago. We'll just come back to it as we see Bennett bowl this ball.
Shot.
Yeah, the rule change was so a substitute fielder can't wicket keep. The rule change was to say they can't receive as well.
Yeah.
The argument at the time was, it's a specialty position. Yeah, but I think they're all specialty positions.
They are, yeah. Every position's unique in its own little way.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the difference between a keeper and any other fielding position is there's a defined spot where the keeper has to be, and they are allowed to wear gloves.
Yep.
So that's why that rule didn't last very long. 7 runs off that over, and just 6 balls remain now. In the major semi-final.
Yeah, ACT have been particularly good here. They'll be trying to finish it off as best they possibly can. And maybe South Australia might look to create a few scars, as you referred to earlier, and try and get a 20-25 from this over and get some really positive momentum.
Leg side to start. Tried to tuck that around the corner. Nothing on it, but it's caught some of the line on the way through, so it is a wide.
Nice shot there by Doran. Beautiful 2 runs.
They get through for a stolen run there. Just a little bit of untidiness.
And this is the danger for ACT. They know they're through to this game. They've probably switched off a little bit, but you've got to be careful not to let these little things, bad habits, come into your game, because sometimes they're hard to work back out. Ooh, bit of a half chance up the front. There's 3 balls remaining.
The flick was wide of the stumps. They're home.
Good call.
Yeah, certainly no run there. And 1 ball remains now in the major semi-final. It will be a dot ball to finish. And there it is. The Australian Capital Territory have advanced to the 2023 Indoor Cricket National Championships Grand Final. For South Australia, well, it's back to the drawing board and a spot in the prelim final tonight against the winner of the minor semi-final, which is coming up next from 12 p.m. Eastern Time between Queensland and Victoria. And, well, has to be said, that result, Moggy, perhaps not that surprising, but where it was won and lost for me was probably in that 3rd pair of the ACT innings. They were right under the pump. They lost their castle 4 times, 3 of them within 5 balls, and fought back to get to 16.
Yep.
That took all the oxygen out of the South Australian bowling attack for mine. They threw everything in the kitchen sink of that pair, and they still got 16, and they still posted 95. Match-turning moments.
Oh, there was a massive moment in the game. We talked about at the time that they just really dug deep and really focused and worked hard. And the result meant that they kept momentum going their way. They got themselves in a bit of trouble early in that pair, but in the last part of that pair, they worked hard and built the score to 16, which was an excellent result. One of the other key differences, I think, between the 2 teams is the discipline with the ball. ACT didn't, I don't feel, bowl as many wides as perhaps South Australia did, and when South Australia did, it was at key moments of the game. The other thing is the difference in midfield. South Australia missed a couple of half chances, whereas ACT took them the majority of those. So I think ACT will be very happy with the result. They get a chance to kick back tonight and put their feet up and go through a proper recovery process. Now South Australia have got to come back at 8 o'clock tonight, and that's a tough gig. Yeah,
particularly with a squad that's carrying a lot of injuries. We know that Oliver Stiles, for example, has been one of the standout bats. He's not even in the centre at the moment, so it'd be interesting to see if he can get up for that game. That game will be sudden death. So as the Rockets applaud their fans here in the centre, We applaud you at home. Thank you for joining us for this match. Hope you can stay with us. As I said earlier, coming up from 12 p.m. Eastern Time, it's Queensland up against Victoria in the Open Men's Minor Semi-Final. Until then, for Sportscast Australia, for Cricket Australia and for Stephen Mogg, I'm Cameron Walter. Thanks for watching.